Okay, so today we're talking about identity as a woman and how do you maintain your identity, especially after you've had kids.
Good topic.
Because everything changes, doesn't it?
Good topic. Everything does change.
You go first because you have just had a baby, so I want to hear how you feel about your identity.
I definitely would say the first few months. I mean, my baby's like 4.5 months now, so he's still quite young. But for the first couple of months, I would say it's really tough because you just don't know what's hit you. You're no longer where you used to be, but you don't know what you're supposed to be now. It's really quite tough. I remember my mum, before my mum left, she stayed with me for 3 months before she left to go back to Nigeria. She said to me, don't lose your identity. Just because you've had a baby, don't lose your identity. You have to shower every day. Make sure you're looking presentable. Make sure you do your hair. Make sure you dress well. That's what she said. Like, don't lose your identity, because once you lose your identity, it's very difficult to find your way back.
In my experience, what I experienced, first of all, the whole thing of motherhood was very sort of surreal for me. It took me ages to even think of myself as a mum, for starters. So when my kids, I don't think I felt I'd lost my identity at the beginning, because I was very much, they were my world and nothing else mattered so much as them, especially with Jaden. And he's 12, he's now 13 this year. So with him, he's my first child, totally in love with him, and everything else in my life didn't matter so much. But I did find it difficult, I think because of who I was growing up, and I felt like a free person. I still found it difficult to be seen as somebody's mum. You know, and especially when they started calling me mum, it sounded a very elusive kind of term. Oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody else is calling me mum. I think I really felt my identity being a bit confusing, because when they were growing up and I really needed to divide my focus onto what they were doing. So they were actually doing stuff. They were going to school, homework, going to activities, this, that and the other. And then I felt a bit like I'm just somebody's mum. I don't want to be just somebody's mum. I'm much more than that. And I think when they grew up a little bit, I did get very selfish in that I would do things, and it wasn't intentional, but me being selfish, but I know I wanted to do certain things and I was going to do them. So I would literally, see on that door, there's a lock on the door. When I wanted to do work, I would lock them out so I could get on with stuff. And I wanted to be someone else, not just someone's mum.
And I guess there's nothing wrong with people that actually, they find their identity in being a mother. That's great. But I think for me, I've been someone that hasn't been somebody's mum forever. This is something very new to me, and I have no idea who I'm supposed to be, like what version of myself am I supposed to be that would equate to being a good mum. So like my independence is technically sort of gone just overnight, whereas I was able to kind of get out, do what I want, think what I want, wear what I want, don't have to plan hours in advance to just go to the shop, you know. And I think it's kind of like a tug of war in your mind, trying to work out society's perception as well of a mother, and it's not really kind of matching with who I am. So it's I don't know, I found it quite interesting, and I think my body's changed as well. And I've never ever been somebody that can't wear whatever I want. It does. I mean, you wouldn't have seen this, but it's taken us an hour to actually sit on the settee to settle my baby while we actually film this 5-minute conversation.
Just imagine that.
An hour.
But we did it though.
We did do it, and he's now fast asleep, out of camera view.
Because some people struggle with it, and I thought, because some people say, okay, the baby's here, I can't cope. But we were like, no, we've got to get this done. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's nothing wrong, like you say, with the other way, where there are some mums who are totally 100% child focused. And I applaud those mums.
I agree.